Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different, something a little bit more pointed, something I think is a very, very bad habit among not even killer mains, but kind of just like players in Dead by Daylight in general, especially under the curtain of the horrible new skill-based matchmaking that we all hate so much. Not even because it's that drastically different, but because of how the community has reacted to it and turned it into something really terrible. And let's go ahead and get into it. So, the bad habit that I see most players in Dead by Daylight do is they like to run incredibly strong perks while they're starting to learn the game, because skill-based matchmaking keeps screwing them over. So they say, okay, well, if they're running really strong perks, I'm just going to run really strong perks. And that's mostly why you're seeing full teams of DS Dead Hard and killers constantly bringing Ruin Undying, Tinker Ruin Undying and stuff like that, or Pop Ruin, or Pop Ruin Corrupt. That's why you're seeing that sort of behavior from the Dead by Daylight community, is because you brought perks and I brought perks. But here's what the deal is. I'm going to tell you that if you're in a formulative stage in this game, if you're in the low to mid level of this game, you are doing yourself an incredibly horrendous disservice. I would even argue, to a large extent, even at the higher skill levels of this game, you're doing yourself an incredible disservice if you are constantly bringing only the best perks in the game. Here's what happens. So, you're trying to learn the game, and you're playing as, say, somebody hard, like Oni. Oni is like Billy on steroids. He may not be able to chainsaw all the time, but when he's under his demon rage, his combo is incredibly hard to control. Like his demon dash into his combo slam, super hard to control. It's super rough. It's super hard to control, super hard to hit, and it takes a long time to master. I have many Oni fans that do watch my videos. I am not great at Oni yet. I'm like a Babu Oni. Like I'm starting to get it, but not really at the same time. I'm getting there. It takes a lot of time and commitment to be good at Oni's demon dashes and the mind games and curving, flicking, all that wonderful stuff. It's hard. It's hard stuff. So naturally, when you start playing this character, you're going to be taking quite a few L's as you start to get a handle on how to play this character correctly, how to do the more mechanically difficult things as you rise through that skill curve. Totally understandable, totally normal stuff. Our survivors can be like, easy baby killer, you know, like they're gonna say stuff like that, right? It's okay. But the response to that so often I've seen has been, oh, well, now I'm going to run Pop Ruin Undying Barbecue on Oni while I'm learning the character. And that will start to give you results. Even if you use them completely wrong, you're at least getting slowed down on forcing people to pop 2 totems. And you're going to pop a few gens, hopefully, and cause some sort of slowdown. So your results are, you're probably going to get at least 1 or 2 kills more often than usual, just because you switched up the perks in your build. And I'm here to tell you that that's probably the dumbest thing that you could possibly do in your formative stages of not only learning a character, but just like learning the game in general. Because what that's going to do in this new skill-based matchmaking is it's entirely based on kills and escapes, right? So if your response to, well, I'm learning how to loop, or I'm learning how to play Hillbilly, which is a hard character, like if your response during those formative stages on both sides is, oh, I'm losing a lot, it's time to pack on stronger perk builds so I get more W's, what's going to happen is, because you're getting more escapes or more kills respectively, your skill-based matchmaking number, your hidden MMR, is going to go up. Your MMR is going to go higher. So you are going to continually, over time, face harder and harder and more difficult teams and more difficult killers, because you were stacking on those stronger perks, because you're getting more results, not because you're better, but because you're bringing stronger perks. So then you're really going to be fighting people who are, you know, in comms, or you're going to be finding somebody as killer who has more hours, who is also bringing these strong perks to face your own. So in that formative stage where you're still trying to learn, say, looping or say nurse, while trying to learn these characters or learning this technique, now you're facing a very, very, very strong teams on top of that, because you couldn't handle the L earlier in your learning process. Now you're going to be fighting people who are actually super good while you're still learning, because you couldn't handle the L, so you stacked on strong perks to cover your loss. And then you're going to complain and whine about how unbalanced the game is and how skill-based matchmaking is supposed to protect you while you're still learning, but you screwed yourself. It's not the system's fault. It's your fault. If you are stacking on those perks while you're doing something that you know you should be learning. If you're supposed to be learning how to loop, don't put on Dead Hard. That fills the gap. If you're supposed to be learning how to pressure gens in the 4v1, don't put on Ruin Undying. Because those things are filling gaps in your inability to do these things. They're not teaching you how to do these things. And when you fight a good team that knows how to handle these strong perks, or fight a killer that knows how to handle these strong perks, you're not going to be learning anything at all. Like literally at all. And then you're at a net loss, which is hard to do in Dead by Daylight. Most things you do in Dead by Daylight usually aren't a net loss, which is one of the reasons that the game is not terrible. And there always seems to be, like, even in complete loss, like I get 4 out of this killer, I'm going to have an easier match next time because my MMR just lowered, you know? And vice versa with Survivor. Even if I die on hook, I'm just going to probably have an easier match because my MMR just lowered and I'm probably not going to get as intense of a killer. But there's very few instances in this game where you just have a net loss where there's literally no game. But if you do that, while you're trying to learn, just stack on perks to fill in the gaps in your skill while you're trying to gain a skill, that is a net loss because you will face harder and harder teams that will not be forgiving while you're trying to learn. So yeah, I really want that bad habit to stop, but it probably won't because, you know, in Dead by Daylight, you can never be wrong and you can never have opinions. That's the one thing I have learned. So, you know, I just wanted to rant about it. That's what this channel is about, isn't it? So thank you so much for listening to me rant. If you actually liked the video, make sure to do the like thing down below. If you want to stick around and see more of my videos, since I do upload daily, make sure you do the sub-aroonies. And apparently the bell thing matters a lot, but I'm not going to ask you to do that. Just you do whatever you want, you know? Sub's not even permanent. You can take it back if you want. You know, we are trying to reach 1,000. I should probably be pushing harder for that, but, you know, I'd rather you sub because you like me and you like what I do and not like because, you know, I pressured you to. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. If I don't, I'll see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.